And so that is what I'm going to be telling you a little about the trade. And I founded the International Primate Protection League way back in 1973. And let's see if this thing works. Okay, this is a great one. I love this picture. And did you see it in any newspaper?
Yes.
Oh no, because it's not a chimpanzee campaign. It's a monkey campaign. No big group has picked it up. We may see something from a big group next year or something else. But this wonderful Sherpa Jumchang boat went without oxygen. He climbed Mount Everest carrying this banner, "Stop the Monkey Business," and he was at the top of the earth, 29,000 plus feet, on the top of Mount Everest, and he held up a poster, and he carried it down with him because there was too much clutter and debris on top of Mount Everest, and so he brought it down again with this beautiful picture. But look at these numbers. Somebody mentioned 17,000 coming in a year from to the States, but just look at what came in 2008. These are figures provided by Fish and Wildlife Service. 26,512 crab-eating macaques. So few rhesus macaques, not many. The Nepalis are succeeding in their battle against the monkey trade. 739 other monkeys, 2 apes. So we're all obsessing with apes, but just look at the figures there and worry about these monkeys. They are really great animals. I wish Linda Barkley were here to tell you a little more, or Linda Wolf, who's a specialist in the species. But these animals, they're such a loss for every animal that comes in, because you shoot the mothers to get the babies, or you let in entire troops. China is the world epicenter for this vile trade in monkeys. They collect monkeys from Cambodia. That's why there are none left in the Tonle Sap Biosphere Reserve, or very few left. And they collect them from Vietnam. They collect them also from Laos. And they come out, they go in wild caught, and they come out with nice little papers saying C on the Fish and Wildlife declarations. And C means captive born, which is absolutely ludicrous, as you'll see from one of our future slides that's coming up. The Convention on International Trade is supposed to regulate species trade, and there are 2 sets of listings. Appendix 2, trade is permitted if the animals were legally removed from the wild and with, quote, no detriment to their species. Appendix 1, commercial trade is banned, and they need both import and export permits. And does this mean there is no trade at all in Appendix 1 species? No, it's going on illegally. And you notice there's a Chinese certificate for export. We say there entirely. Sharon, can you read this and tell me something? Can you read it from here? Anyway, they're trying to say that these wild-caught animals are captive born, which they are absolutely not. And they sign these phony documents, and our government should arrest them. We've been petitioning, the biggest importer being Cobans, who you all know of, and other dealers. We've been trying to get them prosecuted. Fish and Wildlife has assured us that they have an active investigation ongoing. The only problem is they've been assuring us this for 5 years. Also, all the primates are on 1 and 2, all the apes are on 1, and the lemurs, and many monkey species also. We have a document to the right which is a little illegible because the screen's not very large, and I think the one's a bit light. Anyway, to get it a wee bit darker, you see these animals coming from China, and the red arrow showing you they're coming of Cambodian origin. They are absolutely certainly wild caught, and there are so many loopholes in these treaties and trade, because if China gets these animals, the United States wants them for its dubious reasons about which Michael will tell you, including bio-warfare experiments. they're not going to deny themselves and prosecute people because of paperwork technicalities, which is very tragic. And they're huge businesses, Covans, Charles River. Nepal has got 2 monkey farms. One was started by Washington Primate Center up in Seattle, the other by Southwest in San Antonio. They've got these breeding farms. The one in Lely has about 300 monkeys already, and the Nepali activists, to their great credit, are fighting to get these monkeys released in the wild. They're slated for export to the United States to a lab that does have a category classified 4 facility where they can do the most horrible and vile research on them, and they will lead miserable lives. But you know, the Nepali, then some countries won't do just any old thing for money, and religious tradition often plays a big part in that, be it Hindu or Buddhist. So Nepal, we have wonderful activists that we work with, and we're so impressed with their courage fighting the monkey trade. And that's why one of the groups we work with, we got our Sherpa, Jamchang Bog, who is now my friend on Facebook, by the way. If you on Facebook, look me up and you'll find this great Nepali among my friends. But there's still, the farms exist, but still no monkeys have come out, and the Nepali groups are actually suing the government of Nepal. Isn't that wonderful? Say, keep our monkeys housed, don't send them out. They kind of know. We've people like Michael and we've talked together to tell them some of the awful fates that await these wretched beings. And monkey laundering, you've heard of money laundering, and there's monkey laundering too. There's this is a Cambodian facility, and they've got these monkeys piled up, and you notice they're bleak enclosures they're living in. And they're wild caught, they're shipped to China as captive born, but they are captive born in hell in the jungles of Cambodia. In China, some of them stay there. They get eaten. The Chinese do like to eat monkeys, and as you know, they do like to have their food fresh. And I've got video of Chinese markets where they're selling stump-tailed macaques and saying as they're selling them, just to insult the photographer who was a guy there. And the West, so they don't have much to look forward to in the West either, as you'll hear from Mike. Chinese arithmetic. Now, didn't they invent arithmetic or abacus or something like that? But anyway, their arithmetic's slightly messed up. No native crab-eating macaques, not one, yet they're exporting 27,000. They claimed they exported to a recent CITES meeting on no detriment findings in Cancun, Mexico. They said they exported only 12,244 monkeys over the 4-year period, 2004 to 2007. But yet, the US alone imported 13,952 from China in 2007, according to Fish and Wildlife, as well as more from some other countries. But that's amazing, just plain bald-faced lying in an international forum and misrepresenting their trade. You know, I've had fights so hard when I go shopping to buy new clothes because I won't wear anything made in China. It's a cruel, horrible country. But you walk around a store like Dillard's in Charleston, you may find a few things made in Bangladesh or Malaysia, but you know, we shouldn't be patronizing a country where animals are so abused by spending our dollars on all the stuff that they produce, much which is garbage, but it's shameful too that everything by Ralph Lauren has become, many of our legitimate companies comes from there. We're wiping them out so fast, and one day we'll open our eyes and we'll wonder, where are they? They're gone. A friend of mine was walking in a national park in Cambodia and looking for crab-eating macaques where they used to be plentiful. He said, I didn't see a single one.